Welcome everyone to the fourth part of the Let's Play of the Netherlands in Geopolitical Simulator 3. Now I've seen some comments on YouTube in the comment section about me trying to play a larger country, a bigger country like Russia for instance, or the United States. And I think that I will do that in future. Um, For now, I will just content myself into playing the Netherlands. I understand it might not be the most, let's say, exciting country to play as because it's small, but on the other hand, it also just displays all the options in the game quite well. So for, let's say, the next coming, maybe at least 2 or 3 episodes, I will still keep playing this country. And maybe alongside I will start a new playthrough, playing as a different country. Now one of the other countries I'm quite interested in trying out is actually Greece. To be honest, I have tried to play as Greece already before, and I've kind of succeeded, I must say, into improving the entire budget problems in Greece, reducing the budget deficit and increasing the economy, the GDP growth again in the country. But trying that anew might be interesting, and maybe it would be nice to also do or try to, let's say, have actions in countries that are representative to what happened in real life. For example, let me just illustrate that for Greece, I'm thinking of actually trying to play Greece in a way as Margaret Thatcher would have done. So trying to indeed reduce the entire budget deficit, privatize the entire country, and of course reducing taxes and reducing the overall social policy of the country. So reducing the minimum wages and stuff like that, in order to indeed restore or reduce socialism within the country and increase liberalism and conservative budget spending. Now, those are things that I'm currently considering about doing in future. Just comment on it in the comment section what you would like to see with this game, and I will take that into consideration. Now, for now, let's just continue playing this game as it's currently still ongoing. So, as I've showed you last time, we have tried to keep the Netherlands out of the wars a bit that are raging around us. One of the things that I've also done is I've increased the minimum wage in the country. Now there are of course things to consider about increasing minimum wages, and there are people that are fierce opponents of doing that. Um, One of the ideas behind increasing the minimum wage is actually that it will hurt the lowest income earners more than what is actually intended. And one of the most profound things that happens in the game, let's say, most profound things that can happen in real life, at least that people are suggesting, is that what can happen is that if you increase the minimum wage, you actually make the threshold of hiring new employees higher, and thereby employees that are not so, let's say, essential for the industry yet, and that have in a way more benefit in lower wage circumstances, they will be priced out of the market, and thereby they will be fired or they will be not hired anymore. And that would of course mean that some of these employees will actually, of some of these persons will actually have much more difficulties in sustaining themselves throughout life. But that is one of the main objections to raising the minimum wage. People that are, let's say, more looking at from a social perspective, say that improving the minimum wage improves purchasing power of those that are benefiting from it, and in a way that's true. But yeah, it's the, let's say, the conflict between either having more people being employed or the people that are employed benefiting from a higher wage. So from that perspective, I would argue personally that if you have a low employment level or a low unemployment level within your country, it might be beneficial to increase the minimum wage to boost the purchasing power. Whereas if you have a high unemployment, it might be beneficial to actually lower the minimum wage or at least keep it at the same level to encourage industry to hire new employees. Even though some employees might be less productive as others, keeping the minimum wage low might be beneficial. But to be honest, I don't know how perfect this entire system works in the game. It might be simulated quite well, but I'm not really aware of that. But that could be one of the things to try out in a Greece game, for example, where unemployment levels are quite high. But that said, let's just continue playing this game from now. And I will just, as in the other episodes, continue playing the Netherlands and react on things that are happening abroad and domestically. So that said, let's just continue the game. Now we see that indeed, for some reason, North Korea has declared war.
Fellow esteemed citizens, our current situation is critical. Faced with repeated provocations from this rogue state that is threatening both our country and the international community, I have made a conscious decision to declare war. We regret that diplomacy has failed. It is now up to our guns to speak for us, so that we can defend our homeland.
Okay, with whom? They are in war with South Korea even. So it seems indeed that the conflict between China and Russia and countries surrounding there is actually getting more fierce.
One of my men succeeded in infiltrating.
Okay, so let's just continue.
Good morning.
So now let's try to do a trade deal with Belize. It's about oranges. So this is not really a very interesting deal. But anyway, we will just try to work this out. Again, as they are offering actually the deal by state visit, it's usually if you offer a lower amount than the average sale price, usually they will just reject. So that's not really advisable. I hope that they will not reject now. So let's also extend this a bit. Okay, so they are willing to negotiate further. So we will go to 400. 410. Okay, let's let them drop even a bit more. Okay, so this has been accepted. Good.
Sure.
Let's see whether we can get another deal going. Maybe we can provide them with some housing. No, they have access in that. Fuel maybe. Yeah, fuel could be an option. But they will not likely buy like huge amounts of us, because usually AI countries tend to not want to buy a lot from a single country. So we can try to do it like this. I mean, every bit will help a bit in improving the economy. So we'll just see how it goes. Let's try for 4 years, maybe a bit higher initially. Okay, so they are willing to trade about this, or at least to negotiate. 925. 900. Let's try 8. Okay, so this has been accepted. Good. Maybe we can sell also some other stuff even. Like sodas, perhaps? No. Water supply? No, we consume too much. Vegetables. Well, we also need it for our own market. Okay, sugar beet is also not an option. Sugar itself could be, but not that lucrative. So we are producing, by the way, in excess of natural gas. Well, let's just end this meeting now. It's not that we are going to. It's a very small country, Belize, so it's not that we are actually going to make a huge deals with them.
Here is our growth forecast for the end of the year based on calculations that we made last month. This is an average figure. It reflects an economy with moderate dynamism. We could do better.
One of my
And now France seems to be in a conflict with Venezuela. And over here, there's also still a conflict raging between, was it Jordan or Syria and, yeah, Syria and Israel. And Russia as well.
In the face of the attack of which we are all victims, I am officially notifying the Security Council and the member states of our ultimatum of 72 hours. After this deadline, we will attack all hostile armed forces that have not withdrawn. We will not be intimidated. We will not give in.
So Japan is now also in war.
We will forget this test. Our team did not even pass the first round. You could not expect anything better in view of the way the state considers this sport. What a pity. We missed a chance to show a beautiful image of our country to the world and to please the people.
We will break all diplomatic negotiations with North Korea.
It's true that the blow cannot really be described as fatal. 2 arrests. But the three-way analysis that I have carried out using the Watts model.
Okay, so one of the terrorist organizations has been dismantled a bit. We will infiltrate again.
It's true that the
And another terrorist organization also has been slightly dismantled, disbanded. President of Madagascar wants to have a treaty, so... Okay, let's have a look at the poll. I've completed my last read-through, Mr. Prime Minister, and I've transferred the report to your communication service. I hope that you will be able to mine interesting information from it, which will allow you to fine-tune your policy. In any case, we're always at your service. Don't hesitate to contact us again for new polls. So you can look at the polls now. Let's have a look. I think it's head of state, communication. Look at last here. So you see that our party currently, that we control, has the, according to this poll at least, has the majority now. So people are very happy with the way that we perform. You see our coalition partner, which is this one, is actually decreasing. So this goes well for our party currently. So if elections would be held, we would expect that it would be a single party majority within the parliament, which is extremely unique because the Netherlands in real life would not, I think it would never happen. Never say never, of course, but it's very unlikely. And I think even for this game it would also be unlikely. So currently we have like 27% of the seats, of the seats, which is 41. And our biggest coalition partner has
our
38
infiltrated scientific
out of
agents informed me
150.
that they could be in a situation to provoke a major
No, we will not do this. Okay, so in Japan's initiative there is a military intervention mandate against North Korea. Only China abstained. So we are now actually allowed to intervene and to attack North Korea if we like. And it seems that the United Kingdom is actually now intervening on behalf of Japan. And the US is also intervening on behalf of Japan. And of course, we also have a conflict between South and North Korea. I think it's also now our chance to shine. Though we are of course way out of the area. And we don't really have any option to attack them from any close range. But it might be a good idea to actually also declare war and show the colors. So let's try and do this. So what we will do is we go to war side. No, we will do that in behalf of Japan. This order results in the deployment of the country's armies in order to launch a massive attack against the countries in conflict with the selected country. The armies can invade enemy territory, but they cannot annex them under any circumstances whatsoever. So we are now siding with Japan in the conflict, and our military forces are now being scrambled and moved towards locations that should allow us to begin an assault.
This country's armed forces have just launched a massive attack against our country. It's going to get tough now. This country's armed forces have just launched a massive attack against our country. It's going to get tough now.
So we are, of course, also now in a war against China then.
The funeral will take place next week. Do you want to attend the ceremony?
So our jet fighters are now scrambling. 35 of them. And I think they are being moved to, let's see where. They will probably be moved to the South Korea. So one of the major downsides of this game is currently that all military forces have kind of an unlimited range. I mean, it's impossible, of course, for jet fighters to cross the Atlantic Ocean normally without aircraft carriers or mid-air fueling. But in this game there's no range, and that is a bit silly. It might even be that they will launch a strike against the country, against North Korea, and then just return outright to the Netherlands. Okay, so our mole has been terminated in Indonesia.
One of my men succeeded.
Okay, so it seems now that our military forces are being scrambled. And they will be moved.
Our network has
we are now at a war against China on behalf of Japan.
This loss is so very painful to us all. Dear in our memories, these loved ones will always remain. Each and every one of these families have my entire support in this difficult moment.
So there goes the army.
Our sportsmen are ready. A week from the beginning.
It's true that the blow
Okay, so our anti-terrorist organizations of
our infiltrated
efforts
agent was spotted and murdered.
are going well now. And what we will now do in the meantime is actually we will start boosting the housing market again, but now in the south of the Netherlands. So again, let's renovate like 10 million homes. Sorry, 10 million, 10,000. And what we will also do is we want to slightly expand the military.
Our sportsmen are ready.
Good morning.
Okay, so Madagascar wants to sell us some cotton. This is good. We will offer them a bit less. Accepted.
No thanks.
And we will try to sell some of the sugar beets. This might actually work. But they will buy it for less, so it's not an option. We might be able to sell them some of this, of the chemical industry. So let's try to get it higher. Okay, this has been accepted.
Our country is confronted with many subversive undercurrents, so you'll understand why we are forced to apply an appropriate coercive policy. However, your request is not ridiculous, and will not be ignored because, I must admit, it fits into the more lenient program we have been waiting to incorporate for some time.
Let's have a look also.
The competition will begin in a week.
How's inflation going? Still going down, good. How is the economy doing? It's slightly increasing, but we can boost this later on a bit, at near the end of the year, so that we try to keep inflation as low as possible. And in the meantime, I will show you also how we can expand our military a bit. So what I want is I want some more fighters. Let's try to buy some fighters from Germany. Okay, so let's have a look. They can just produce one. That's not enough. Could be the rank though. Let's try whether the United States has more to produce and offer. Yeah. Okay, then we will try the United States. We'll try to purchase 20 fighters from them, which is a lot of money in a way. Maybe 10.
Prospective analysis, coupled with the Brown model on group psych.
Let's reduce it a bit. And they're still demanding a bit too much in my opinion. Let's offer them 50.
Our agent's assessment.
Let's have a look how things are going here. That will kind of be my final offer. Okay, so they haven't accepted. Well, that's too bad then. Then we will try to do with whatever we have. Because I do want to have, ideally, the most modern fighters if we are going to purchase new ones anyway.
Regulate the agricultural budget with the European.
Okay, let's have a look. Where is our military actually? Oh, they're now over here. So they're traveling through the Suez Canal. And hopefully they will be able to deal with any Chinese intervention that they might come across with first. And what do we have here? Oh, this is one of our frigates, I think. That's actually being sent. And here we have some of our submarines. So North Korea has already lost over 100,000 civilians, which is in a way also military personnel. The game calculates civilians as not only casualties in cities, but also all military personnel that was killed during military action. So our submarines have been dispatched.
Undeniably, you have inside you the founding values of society.
Okay, our frigates are now have been recalled. I don't know why. Maybe the war is over, could it be? No, doesn't seem to be the case.
One of my men succeeded.
It seems to be the case that Japan and South Korea are still winning, or at least keeping them at bay. So,
As I predicted,
anti-terrorism is going well. And what are our choppers now doing here? Oh, they're under attack.
It must be conceded that there is a stalemate.
Good news. Our financial performance in the last quarter shows a cash surplus.
Okay, so we have a cash surplus still of over 2 billion each quarter now. So that's good. Let's see how inflation is going. It's increasing. Oh well, it's decreasing still, so it's also going quite well. But I'm a bit concerned about the army. So it might be an idea to actually increase the amount of career soldiers that we want. And especially also the number of commandos. So we're now increasing the amount of soldiers. And I still would like to have a bit more military equipment. So let's try to actually get a bit more fighter pilots. Maybe we can try to purchase some from Sweden. What if we just say, okay, let's purchase 4 of them. And let's start the negotiations. So this will be, they are a bit antiquated now. But anything is better than nothing. So let's try to purchase some from Sweden. And we can of course always try to purchase on the black market, or at least that is what, let's say
Our
non-Western
governmental
countries
cell
would
informed
try.
me that it has...
But I don't think that we should do that, to be honest. So the Jihad organization seems to be dismantled a bit more again. So we will continue doing this. The less we have of those, the better. Oh, well, let's try to do this again. Fighter pilots from Sweden. Let's try to purchase like 3 then. Again. Let's try this. I hope they will. Okay, they are at least negotiating now. We do want to drive the price down a bit. And our military is currently moving out.
Here is our growth forecast.
Economy is doing decent. Not good, but decent. Let's try to lower this as much as possible. Okay, so now we have an open conflict with North Korea, it seems. They're still trying to get an increase, but we will slowly...
The enemy seems to have taken a slight advantage.
Okay, they're now dropping their price, that's good. So we will now start increasing it.
To tell you the truth, combat is harsh and difficult, and the troops' morale is low.
Okay, so our submarines are now closing in. Okay, let's offer them a bit more. This deal should now be concluded soon, I hope. Okay, this has been accepted. So we will now receive 3 fighter aircraft from Sweden for, let's say, 137 million. Yeah, there goes our submarine.
Our infiltrated agents had the chance to carry out a
That reminds me, we should actually increase our spy network in North Korea. And we should start creating a new network in China. With like, yeah, maybe 40 spies. And we should try to do some industrial sabotage. Okay, so our submarine is now moving in for an attack, apparently.
Our infiltrated agent was spotted. Our infiltrated
So, let's see. So I think taxation-wise everything is going as planned. Inflation is still dropping, that's good. Industry is not growing a lot. And we are in October, so let's try to start boosting our economy a bit again. So we know that we have some gas exports that we can use. And so we should find a buyer that is interested in buying lots of gas for quite high prices. So national and natural gas, world information, balance of trades. We will sort based on the highest efficiency. That's the United States and Japan, China, Germany. So that's interesting, Germany. And who offers the highest price? That could be the United States. So let's try to get a gas deal with the US. We will try to sell the US some natural gas. And let's offer them for 400. And we will not offer all of what we can produce, but maybe like 1.5 million. For 4 years. Let's see. USA contract. Let's see how it goes. Okay, they want to buy a lot more than we can offer. Oh, well, we can offer it, but let's not do that. Not all at once. Let's do it as like this. Let's decrease the price again. Okay, the price is increasing. 360. Let's see how everything goes over here. So our submarines are still in conflict and near the North Korean coast, ready to strike. The reason that I don't want to sell all at once is because I want the economy to be boosted, but not to drive inflation too much. So they are offering 350, but they want just more. Okay, let's offer them 3 million. This will likely be accepted now, because we kept the price the same.
One of my men succeeded in infiltrating.
Yeah, this has been accepted. That's a good deal. This will boost our economy likely a bit. Not a tremendous amount, don't expect miracles here, because it will not influence the our sectors so much that we have. But it will boost our economy a bit, because we do get a higher price from this deal than any other gas deal that's on the general world market. So inflation is still going down. It might also be an idea to further boost the economy a bit. So what we know is that our oil sector is of course important, and especially oil purchases are important for that. What we can try is again to negotiate a new contract in which we buy some oil from the Democratic Republic of Congo. We already are purchasing a lot there. Oh, maybe that's Nigeria. We could also try. I think they also sell a lot of oil for still decent prices. Oh yeah, but they are an OPEC country, so you only get markets, or let's say OPEC regulated prices from them. South Sudan is also a nice country to try and purchase some oil from. They're also not the most expensive ones in terms of demand. That's oil contracts. Let's try to put this for 4 years. And we want to buy like maybe 500,000 barrels or bateaus. Yeah, this seems good. Okay. So if they accept this, or at least after negotiation, this will boost our economy considerably. I'm quite sure of that. Okay, so they are willing to negotiate. I do not want to buy more than that, so let's offer them 300 now. Because of course our fuel sector is large in the country. Ooh, gunships are attacking our military.
Your provocations of this country are ridiculous and dangerous. Stop this.
Our infiltration.
Okay, our armed forces are now within China. Okay, we have now the fighters that we have ordered. They have arrived. So we now have like 90 fighters. I think we can just try to purchase even more from Sweden. Another 3. Dutch fighter. Right. 2. Okay, the oil agreement has been signed. Now our forces are securing this military base.
I don't usually like smooching scenes.
By the way, you can control the military if you like, but it's really this game is not really a military-oriented game. It's mostly political stuff, and I think that keeping the military on AI management is actually the best. Okay, so we are slowly increasing our offers again. Let's have a look again at the inflation levels. They're still dropping. That's good. We have now an excess. This is likely because here we have. So our economy is now it's now boosted a lot, and that's probably because of the oil contract and the gas deal. And our military forces are now moving ahead. And I don't really understand where they're going. Seems to be to the north of the country, which is a bit strange. But like I said, the military AI
Our agent's assessment.
is not really the best.
It must be conceded that there.
So our military forces are now getting on land, it seems. So we've taken the city. And our military forces are increasing their efforts.
The preparation.
So we might actually... This is nice. So we have now taken the city. And our military forces are now fully securing it. There are some Chinese forces over here. Or they are actually refugees. These are Chinese refugees. Seems that we are losing a lot of equipment now. So I might want to have some more missile launchers. And let's try to purchase them from Germany. Try to buy 10 of them. Would be 12. Let's go for that. Okay, so our unemployment has now dropped to lower than 0.5%, it seems, which is very good, but also is a strain on the economy to have this low unemployment. Okay, so Germany wants to get a good deal out of this, which I of course understand.
Our infiltrated scientific agents inform.
So we are still holding the city, it seems. Okay, so we will receive our rocket of our missile launching vehicles, 12 of them. Indonesia has a disaster again. And we will start to order even more missile launchers, but now from the United Kingdom. Oh, they have very low production. Maybe we should try a different country then. France. Yeah, so they will be able to supply us with at least like 10. These are of course of a higher grade than the ones we had. So that is good. So they will have a much better performance in the field. I don't know what our military is doing here. But it doesn't seem they're doing that great. Maybe a bit higher.
Sharing this moment of intense spirituality with the faithful gives me great joy.
Oh, they do try to drive a hard bargain.
The city has fallen. It's been impossible for us to resist the advance of enemy troops.
Here are the GDP and growth figures for the last year. As you know, these are the most important economic indicators and the most revealing of the health of our economy. This is an average result. We must remain cautious and measure the consequences of our economic stability over the long term.
Okay, so we have grown with a 6.2%, which is actually quite good. Again, thanks to some of the trade deals, but I'm pretty happy with that.
Our scientific cell infiltrated
And with that, I think we should. I will conclude this part of the playthrough. So in this episode, I've shown you a bit about what to expect military-wise in the game. I must admit that the military aspect of this game is not like it's the biggest and nicest part of the game. It's a bit simplistic and a bit clunky. There's not much control that you can have over the military. You can have some control, but it's mostly very simplified and mostly AI driven as well. And what you can also see in the game that it's not always that easy to keep let's say to have trade deals agreed for new military equipment. That's all. It's a bit difficult sometimes to get those deals done fast, but it's possible. Even though we've already lost 40,000 of our soldiers in the entire struggle, which is a lot, and that's just mostly because the AI manages it so poorly. But that said, I hope that you still enjoyed this playthrough, and like I said already, in future I might try to continue with this playthrough as the Netherlands, but I might also try a larger, more challenging country, like as people suggested, maybe the United States of America or Russia. Personally, I think that Greece would also still be interesting, as I already discussed initially. And with that, if you like this, please stay tuned, subscribe or like or post comments in the comment section. And see you then next time again.